Good evening, my friends. Welcome to another edition of Wednesday Night Live here on Mike Avery Outdoors. That must mean that I am Mike Avery, and I am, and this is, really, I'll remove that then. This is, okay, save changes. Wednesday Night Live on my Facebook page and my YouTube channel. I see we had a little bit of a problem going to Vimeo tonight. I'm not quite sure why. And also, I'm still waiting to get it approved for LinkedIn so I can go live on LinkedIn as well. But hey, Lonnie, how are you this evening? Nice to have you along with us. Scott, good evening. How are you? It's a hot evening. Yes, indeed, it is. There we go. Scott says it's a hot evening. Tim says, good evening, sir. Richard says, howdy, Mike. Who's this? Josh says, good evening, folks. Elliot, good evening from the rail yard. It's got to be hot in the rail yard tonight. Randy Murray checking with us as well. And look at, he's holding a walleye. What a surprise that is. Randy's pretty hardcore. And there we go. John Cookie, checking in from White River, Ontario, Canada. Who else we got with us? Bruce is with us tonight. Tim Binns is with us tonight. Bernie says it was a hot day on the golf course, but it's much better than working. That's the way I feel about fishing. It's a hot day on the water, but it's better than working. Of course, in my case, I can work and do that too. Rob checking in from Metropolitan White River. Which reminds me, Rob, I got to call the Continental and tell them I'm not coming up. Although they probably suspected that by now, right? Nebraska's checking in. Bill Hoffman strapping up for his first shift in 3 weeks. Vacation over. Time to get back to it, buddy. Greetings from Battle Creek, Michael says. Jim Goss says, hello, Mike. How are you this evening? Linwood, still in the shop, mounting up deer. That's Scott Keatsman of Linwood Taxidermy. So we got a nice crew. Madison Heights checking in. Of course, I said Linwood was checking in. All right, my friends, how are you? My name is Mike Avery. This is Wednesday Night Live. It's something I do every Wednesday night on various social media outlets, trying to expand the franchise as much as possible. Bill Hoffman, are you still with us? What is it that you are involved in that I saw you're changing the way you do your business a little bit? You're expanding. You're doing something new. What is that? Now, this I don't believe. Checking in from Remus, I believe, but just drove 15 hours to Jay's for some Mike Avery hunter sticks. Can't find him in Tennessee. Jim, why is it I think you were coming to Michigan anyway and you just happened to stop by Jay's? But I appreciate it. Thank you for that. Brent checking in from Port Huron. Bill Hoffman, what is it that you're working on? George says, hey, big man, how are you tonight? Oh, hey, man. Hey, my man, Big Mike. I am a good-sized guy. Smaller than I used to be. Here we go. Survive the Hunt. It's a new podcast and video podcast with a partner. Very cool. Good luck to you on that, Bill. What is the question on Ask Avery this weekend? Christine, I'm going to try something right now. Let's see this. Let's see if I can figure out how to do this. Boom, 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 boom. There we go. The Ask Avery segment will be involving this post right here. And this is the first time I've actually shared a screen on my Wednesday Night Live. So that's pretty exciting. Did you guys see that? I can't tell if you saw it or not. So I'll follow up on that. Focusing on hunting and survival preparedness. Very cool. Sunny Seoul, South Korea checking in. Really enjoyed reading hunting and fishing. Michigan, born and raised in Cass City, spending many a day around Michigan. Richard? Yeah, it looks like you might be in uniform. I can't tell. Thank you for your service if you are. Craig's going to try to get out in the bay tomorrow. Got pictures of St. Agnes, nice resting spot for a week. That was the weird steelhead post, Bill. And that's what this week's Ask Avery segment is all about. All right, my friends, a couple of things I want to talk about. Number one, did you get your Michigan bear or elk tag? Did you? I bet you didn't get your elk tag, did you? I got my Michigan bear tag. I'm so excited to be hunting with Johnny Bowler. In fact, Johnny usually checks in with us tonight. Eric says they posted elk and bear drawings Monday. I'm well aware of that, I can tell you. I stayed up till midnight Sunday night to find them. And then I was so tired. There we go. That's it. Scott says Tony Sovey used his special powers to pull a bear and elk tag. His special powers are he's a retired game warden. 5 points for bear, 8 chances for elk. And I take it you're unsuccessful. I'm really excited to go up to Seney and hunt with Johnny Bowler. You know that. So we're getting some reports of some elk tags here. Eric Young drew a cow elk tag first hunt. Congrats, Eric. That's going to be a lot of fun. Let us know how you do, will you? 17, Kurt says 17 points for bear for next year, Drummond Island. Now, why Drummond, Kurt? Why? I mean, I know there's a lot of bear there, but there's a lot of bears everywhere, right? 115 degrees in Phoenix. Yowza. And I thought it was hot here. There's Johnny. Hey, Johnny, it was a real pleasure to talk with you today as we recorded the Outdoor Magazine radio show. I'm really looking forward to getting a chance to know you. I'm really looking forward to hunting with you. I appreciate your flexibility with me since I'm hunting with a recurve and I got to be 15 yards and yada, yada, yada. It's going to be a lot of fun, Johnny. I'm really looking forward to it. Is it on iTunes? Is what on iTunes, Brent? Hit me up with your question again. Is what on iTunes? Oh, you're probably talking to Bill Hoffman. At this point, you're all in. Benny Fan. Oh, I gotcha. And I see what you're saying, Kurt. You've waited 17 years for this tag. So why blow it all by going somewhere else now? I get that. That makes complete sense. I understand that. Okay, so bear and elk tags were released here in Michigan. If you haven't checked yours yet, please do if you're in Michigan. If you haven't checked them yet, maybe you're not that serious about it, right? 7 points and you got a Gladwin tag? It's a dry heat. Yeah, right. 7 points and you got a Gladwin bear permit this year. Robert, that's pretty good with just 7 points because Gladwin's a tough tag to get. Man. 14 elk points unsuccessful. Not a surprise. What's in the cup, Rob says. Tonight, just Crystal Light. And that's what's going to stay in the cup because once I get off the air here, I've got to make a drive downstate. So it's just Crystal Light in here tonight. Maybe when I get home, I'll put a little Maker's Mark in there. Okay, so I want to talk bear and elk tags. We've already done that. Congrats if you got a bear or elk tag. I'm really excited to be hunting with Johnny Bowler. We're going to go up there in mid-August, a time that I would normally go to White River and bear hunt. I'm going to go up to Seney and get out in the bush, get out in the woods with Johnny, set up a blind or two, kind of scope the situation out so I'll be ready for the opener. So I'm looking forward to that. The weather, we got to talk about the weather. It's incredibly hot. It's incredibly dry. We could use some rain. Speaking of the weather, have you heard cicadas buzz yet? They've been buzzing for 3 or 4 days. I have not heard one yet, but they're out there and buzzing. And what does that mean? The old adage says 6 weeks until frost. That's not true. That's not accurate. I used to say it's actually closer to 8 weeks. No, if anything, it's closer to 10 or 12 weeks. But I think it is true that the earlier the cicadas buzz, the earlier we're going to get the first frost. And vice versa. The later they buzz, the later we're going to get a frost. Fishing. I've been doing a lot of fishing lately, hence the brown dome on the top of my head, and doing very well. I'm surprised that my skinny water, that's not so skinny anymore, right now we're in about 13 feet of water, is starting to produce fish. And earlier in the season, it didn't. The last 3 trips in there now, we've been doing very well on walleye on Saginaw Bay. Good evening, Jeff. Nice to have you along with us. Hey, in just a couple of minutes, we're going to give away some Speedy Blaze. Ed Bolanowski, are you with us tonight? Speedy Blaze. For Tim says, first time you've heard Midland had a water shortage due to heat. Well, Tim, I haven't heard anything about it. I've heard about the boil water advisory. That is a Yeti with a handle. You know how much I dislike Yeti because they're overpriced. But if I get them for a gift, and this one was a birthday gift for my daughter, I'm going to take advantage of it. I won't buy them, but I'll use them. Well, hey, Brent. Hi, how are you? Randy, how have you been doing fishing, by the way? If you're just joining us, my name is Mike Avery. This is Wednesday Night Live. A little background on me. If you're not familiar, I've been a broadcaster, an outdoor broadcaster in Michigan for almost 40 years now. Used to do television, now just radio, podcasting, and social media. And pretty happy with that. I don't miss a television show at all. Although I still do some video. Johnny, I will shoot video of my bear hunt with you up there in September. And I'm looking forward to it. Ed Bolanowski, are you with us? If Ed is with us, we're going to give away some Speedy Blaze right now. Speedy Blaze is it's a, what would we call it? An alternative to using wood like you'd buy in a bundle. Speedy Blaze is wood because it's processed wood. Here we go. This is interesting. And I just heard about today. Still fish in Sanford Lake. A couple of buddies and myself caught a mess of largemouth, smallies, and walleye over the weekend. Don't tell anybody, though. I heard another story that a guy was out there in a kayak and he found some water and it was full of fish, including muskies, walleye, largemouth, crappies. If you can find fish, if you can find water right now in Sanford and Wixom Lake, you're going to find fish. Thank you, Paul. Appreciate that. Appreciate that very much. I'll be hunting with your buddy, Johnny Bowler. Like Tim says, there's less water to find them in. Exactly. See, that's why I like my skinny water for Saginaw Bay walleye trolling. If I'm out in 27 feet of water, I got to figure out where in that 27 feet of water I should fish. If I'm fishing 10 feet of water, it narrows it right down. I don't see Ed Bolanowski with us yet. What's the one I was looking for? Comment right here. Thanks for getting me in contact with Chef Dave Miner. Does anyone in Upper Michigan have major problems with gypsy moth eating every tree in the woods? Anybody have a response for that? Because I've heard gypsy moths are very bad this year. I don't have them here personally, but I've heard they are very, very bad. Randy says, real well yesterday, but left at 1, too hot for me, 14 total. And here's Bruce. Bruce is the guy who was telling me he was out fishing Sanford Lake in a kayak and hooked into a muskie and it towed him around. How fun does that sound? Bruce, let me ask you, is there enough water to keep those fish alive? I mean, is there water flowing through there? These aren't in stagnant ponds that are going to dry up and the fish are going to go with them, right? I mean, these are viable waterways that are going to maintain that fishery until the water level comes back up, I'm assuming. Jason says Harrison is terrible for gypsy moths. Let me send Ed a text here because he was going to be along with us tonight. Let me send him a quick text and then we'll get him on here. If he doesn't respond, we will have somebody else play the role of Ed Bolanowski. Ed, boom. Ed, Wednesday night live? Question mark? I bet you he joined us right. He was fishing earlier in the day. Bruce says, this is interesting. Bruce says the river is running well. The pockets have carp in them and suckers with bass and panfish. But the river, it sounds like, is holding muskies and probably pike. And he's there. Okay. Spencer says, from what he's Fisher stacked the edges of fast moving while looking good for sure. Looking for food, I'm sure. All right, ladies and gentlemen, Ed Bolanowski just said Wednesday Night Live. There he is. Hello, Ed. Nice to have you along with us. Ed from Speedy Blaze, speedyblaze.com. Ed has been fishing a lot and catching some fish. All right, my friends, you now have 3 minutes. If you would like to, and by the way, if you've won in the last month, please don't enter this contest. If you've won in the last month, hey, look who else is with us. Jason Wolverton from the Forward Corporation. Jason was on the radio show today, and I'm going to talk about him in a minute. Getting back to Speedy Blaze. You've got 3 minutes right now. Make your comments. Yes, I did get my bear tag. Make your comments about why you would want to win some Michigan-made Speedy Blaze. You can buy Speedy Blaze at the Forward Corporation, but if you want to win a couple of bundles free, make your comments right now. Make them as clever as you would like. Make them as hard for Ed to resist as you would like. But make your comments right now. You've got 3 minutes on why you would like to win a couple of bundles of Speedy Blaze from our good friends at Speedy Blaze, speedyblaze.com. And you can get those, by the way, if you don't win tonight, at Forward Corporation, forwardcorp.com. Two great partners for the Outdoor Magazine, Radio, and Mike Avery Outdoors. Big Rapids area, horrible on the gypsy moth. Never seen anything like it. Huge sections of the woods. Ugh. All right, come on, let's talk about Speedy Blaze. Got to get some comments here. Otherwise, Ed's just going to turn around and go home and take his toys with him. Sheltered family. There you go. That's a good one, Dennis. Posted all over Facebook. Good job, Dan. Good job. That'll get Ed's attention. All right, now we've got some comments coming in. Again, you got 2 minutes to make your comments on unlike Mike's 3 minutes, Speedy Blaze lasts as advertised. And Jason says that because I say you've got 3 minutes, then it turns to 2 minutes, then it turns to 1 minute, then who knows? Speedy Blaze, nothing better than a fire and a beer. Can't go wrong with that. Fire and a beer, right? You've got 1 minute. Tomorrow is your 54th birthday, and you haven't won since wintertime. 54. Man, you're an old guy, Jeff. 30 seconds on the Speedy Blaze. 30 seconds to win Speedy Blaze. So get your comments in right now. Camping starts next week. Could really use some Speedy Blaze. You've used it before. For short night fires. 20 seconds for the Speedy Blaze. 15 seconds on the Speedy Blaze. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Contest is over. Ed, hey Nick, how you doing? Jim's never heard of it. Hey Jim, are you related to Johnny? Ed Bolanowski says Jason Goit and Jeff Plant, happy birthday. They win Speedy Blaze. Jason and Jeff, if you would give your contact info either directly to Ed Bolanowski or send it to me and I will pass it along to Ed. You will win some Speedy Blaze. Congrats to both guys. And thank you to Ed Bolanowski, Sherm Hubbard, and all the folks at Speedy Blaze for partnering with me and also for making the product available. Again, if you didn't win, you can buy it at all Forward Corp stores. Speaking of who's on the show this week, thank you, Bill Hoffman, for asking. We start out with Johnny Bowler talking about his bear hunting operation in the UP near Seney. I got a lot of questions for him. I asked on the air about my upcoming bear hunt with Johnny. Then Tony Sovey, a guy who got both a bear license and a Michigan elk tag. I think it's rigged because he's a retired game warden. He says no. In hour number 2, Andy Brennan, who catfish Andy, by the way. We're talking about catfishing in Michigan's rivers, something that is very much overlooked, I think. He concentrates a lot on the Saginaw River, on the Maumee River, the Grand, the St. Joe. The Facebook went out. Who won? Jeff Plant won, and who was the other one? Jeff Plant and Jason Goit. Jason Goit and Jeff Plant won. I better write that down. Jason Goit and Jeff Plant both won. And thank you to Ed Bolanowski, Sherm Hubbard, and everybody at Speedy Blaze. Here we go. Nick is good for next Friday. Ross is good for next Friday. And Brent is good for next Friday. Haven't heard from Glenn yet. I'm thinking next Friday is starting to look pretty good. I don't want to put it back any farther than that, Ross, or we might have a hard time finding some fish. Here we go. Somebody else says he knew a guy that drew both a bear and an elk tag about 12 years ago. Is that guy you, Eric? Okay, Andy Brennan's talking about catfishing for flatheads, not for channel cats, but for flatheads. Then Jason Wolverton of the Forward Corporation joins me. Jason talks about he's going to be involved in the Real Men Wear Pink campaign this year to fight breast cancer. It's something I was involved in last year, and Jason and the Forward Corporation helped me out tremendously. Jason, I'm going to do the same for you. I'm going to help you out however I can, help you raise funds to fight breast cancer. Also, Jason reminds us that a promotional package they have going on right now, a promotion with Michigan brand meats, where if you buy hunter sticks, including Mike Avery hunter sticks, you can save 25 cents a gallon. How cool is that? And then the Ask Avery segment. I'll come back to Ask Avery in a minute. In hour number 3, we're talking about getting ready for deer season with Tim Roller. And then wild game chef extraordinaire Dave Miner joins me with a salmon recipe. All right, our Ask Avery segment this week. And I'm going to try to do this again. It's the first time I've ever done it. Chrome tab, share screen, share it. Boom. Okay. I'm assuming that you can still, let's see, can I go back to it? Oh, I can. How cool is this? How cool is this? This is the first time I've ever done this. I can share a screen. Share a screen. Okay, so I'll go to this right now. The question is from John Cedar. And he says, hey, Mike, I've been fishing for salmon and trout for years and never saw this before. Wondering if any of your contacts at the DNR or a biologist might know anything about it. They're both from Lake Michigan steelhead. The white fillet you've never seen before. Any help is greatly appreciated. I've never seen it before either. Obviously, the one on the right looks like, my right, is it your right? Looks like a typical steelhead. So I checked with my friends at the DNR, my contacts at the DNR. They said it was either going to be the diet. This is one of the biologists. Either the diet of the two fish was vastly different. The strain of the steelhead might be different, as in a stock fish versus a natural reproduction, or the water temp. I also had people post online that it might be that the white fillet had been recently spawned and the fish was under stress. I don't think that was the case. The best response I think we got was from a biologist named Randy Claremont. He says, we see this a lot in Great Lakes salmonids. Yes, the coloration is from the diet, with the white generally representing pelagic prey and the red representing benthic prey. In general, that's a little too scientific, I get that. But in general, he said, alewife and smelt cause the white flesh. Some think it's related to the lack of B vitamin complex, but he hasn't seen evidence of that. On the other hand, crayfish tend to provide the most red coloration, but gobies also provide a diet that provides red to the meat. So there's your answer. It's a diet thing. It is a food thing. And how do you like the way I just shared my screen with you? And yes, you will never get worms on my boat. You will never see a night crawler on my angler quest. So thank you to John Cedar for submitting that question to this week's Ask Avery segment. This is something I do every week online and on the radio show as well. And by the way, the Ask Avery segment is brought to you by Security Credit Union, securitycu.org. But if you have a question you'd like to ask me directly, or as John did, You thought it was neat and outstanding? I did too. I thought it was pretty cool. Thank you, Brad and Mark, for that. I like it. I like what this whole StreamYard format lets me do. For example, I can show your comments, right? I can show my screen. I can bring in guests. We've done it before. I won't bring in anybody tonight, but I can bring in guests. I love it. And I also found out now that it will allow me to go live from my phone to the different social media platforms. Mark says, you're getting high tech. I've been high tech, buddy. For an old guy. Okay. Ross, thank you for bringing this up. Ross says, what's going on with the Wrath blinds? This is a primal tree stands blind. First, Ross, I've got to tell you, I'm a little bit confused on the name because they told me it was called the Wrath, just like you said, W-R-A-T-H, Wrath, like the wrath of God. Then I saw a post from Primal Tree Stands calling it the Wraith, W-R-A-I-T-H. So I asked the guys at Primal, Bob Ransom, I said, is it the Wrath or is it the Wraith? Bob said it's the Wraith. So I have to start calling it the Wraith, which kind of stinks because I was told to call it the Wrath. Regardless, it is a wonderful... Yeah, you think so, eh, Glenn? Except for right around here where my sunglasses are, right there where my sunglasses hit my nose. It's a wonderful see-through blind from the Primal Tree Stands company. I say it's a direct competitor to the Primos Double Bull Surround View 270, which cost you about $400. This Wrath or Wraith blind from Primal is going to be available in about a month now. And there's going to be a way for you to buy them for $200. Half the cost of a Primos Double Bull 270. Now, I'm not going to sit here and tell you they're made to the same quality that a Primos blind is, but if you can buy it for half the price, so if you can get two of them out there in the woods for the price of one, why not? Why wouldn't you take advantage of that? So, Ross, to answer your question, in about a month, we're going to see him. I'm talking with the folks from Primal on a constant basis. I don't know if there's going to be some kind of a promo code. They're only going to be available online at this point. Or I might have some I can get you. I don't know. We'll Bob and I are still working out the details. But $200. And they're going to be out there in just about a month. How cool is that? Brad says he wants 4 of them. I already have 2. Mark says he wants 2 of them. I already have 2 of them, and I will buy 2 more at that price because it's the size of a Primos Double Bull 270. If I was really ambitious, right? Let me just try something real quick here, and if it doesn't work, I'll bail out. But I have posted pictures of this. Okay, we're going back to turkey season now. Let me see if I can find a picture that I posted from my blind. Getting real close here. And if I can, now it's not there. I'm all the way back into. Nope, I can't see it, my friend. Nope. I wish it was because I would love to show you. Nope, can't do it. Of what it looks like. Doesn't Primos do a lifetime warranty? I don't know if they do a lifetime warranty. They might. It's a top quality company. Do these compare? There's not a lifetime warranty. I'll promise you that because they're not built to the same quality of a Primos Double Bull. However, they are half the cost. So they're a good quality. The design is outstanding. They're the same size as the Primos Double Bull 270, and they're going to be $200. What happened to my thumb? Nothing. Just fishing, getting cut, usual fishing stuff. If I don't have a Band-Aid on this thumb, I'll have a Band-Aid on this thumb this time of year because fishing does that to my thumbs. It's just one of the hazards of fishing a lot, as much as I have been. So yeah, the Primos, the Wraith, the Primal, it's either a Wraith or a Wrath. And I think it's going to be called the Wraith. Ross said the double bull that he had leaked. Where's the comment? Come on, Ross. I'm trying to show your comment. There we go. The double bull that you had leaked really bad. I haven't hunted in the Primal, so I don't know if it leaks or not. But for $200, I might take a little bit of a leak, right? Broke a poll on your Primos. They sent one to me free. For that price, they should. Hey, listen, I'm not knocking the Primos double bull blinds. That surround view is a wonderful blind. It's a great blind. I had 3 of them. I had the 360, the 270, and the 180. I liked them. I agree with you, Josh. I think the Wrath sounds better. So why they went to this wimpy Wraith, I don't know. That's not something I have any control over. I love those Primos double bull blinds. They're great blinds. They're very well built. They're heavy. They'll last forever, but they're pricey. So if I can get one of these Primal blinds, very, very comparable for $200, I'm going to buy 2 of those instead of one of the Primos double bull blinds. Thumbs will be just fine. They took your blind black. I had video. I showed them. I think I had a bad one. I spent a lot of time, I'll tell you what, up in White River, Ontario, in my Primos double bull, in some pretty strong rain. And I don't remember getting wet, Ross. So maybe you did have a bad one. Maybe you did. What's the topic? Ammo and guns? Gary, the topic so far has been bear and elk tags. Isn't the 360 the one that bear trashed in Canada? Thankfully, Mark, they didn't trash. No, the one that the bear trashed was a cheap Ameristep blind. Thank God. My Primos double bull 270, they took a bite out of it, but they didn't trash it. Have I ever tried rubbing alcohol on my hands for the fish cuts? Ed, why would I do that? That sounds like it would hurt. Do I look stupid? I think you're trying to mess around with me, aren't you? No, but I tell you what, we actually do have some hand sanitizer on the boat. And when I get cut lately, I've been putting that on and wearing a face mask and keeping my social distance. Not. So anyway, the Primal Wrath or Wraith is what I will be hunting out of this fall. In fact, I will be, and yes, no for me on the 17th. The yes or an okay. Ross, what are you doing carrying a gun? How dangerous is that of you? You could hurt yourself or you could hurt somebody. I'm joking with you. Ed says, honestly, it works. He says, I'm not kidding you. It works. Jason, who won Speedy Blaze tonight, along with Jeff Plant, says his new Browning tent leak. They said the seams do that. I'm not telling you they don't leak, Jason, because I haven't hunted with one yet in the rain. But for $200, all guns matter. And we don't know the details yet. I don't know the details yet on exactly how you're going to get that blind for $200. I've been talking to Bob Ransom about it, about working out those details and the specifics. But I'm excited to be part of it because I believe in Bob Ransom. He's the guy behind Ameristep. I believe in his products. He's a great designer. He's a great guy. He's a great businessman. And if we can put a blind like that in your hand for $200 and I can be part of it, I will certainly do that. And I will look forward to it. And you're going to like these blinds. When we're done here, if you go to the Facebook page and you scroll down, you'll see some examples of that blind. I just can't find them right now while I'm live on the air. Good question, Carl. I don't know. Jim Bowler says, when you hunt with Johnny, tell him cuz Jim from Hattiesburg, Missouri says hi. I wondered if you were related, Jim. And here's something for you. I've been to Hattiesburg, Mississippi. I've been to Hattiesburg. How many points for the elk and bear tags? Are you asking, Nancy, how many it takes to get one? It varies from year to year, and it varies the geographic part of the state. As regarding elk tags, I've seen people get a bull tag the first time they apply. I've seen people apply for 25 years and not even get a cow tag. I got my hunt with 3 points. I probably could have got it with just 2 points because I'm hunting the third season. Another good question, Ross says, any word, really good question, because I talked to both the folks at Jason Wolverton about the Lumberjack, and I talked to Dave Miner today about Oscar and Joey's going back and doing a Wednesday night live at the Lumberjack and Oscar and Joey's. It's too early. We all agree it's too early because the restaurants can only go to 50%. So Dave isn't even opening his doors because he said he'll lose money. It'll cost him more to put a staff in there. Plus, he and Terry have both had heart problems, and they're a little bit concerned about COVID. So they're not even going to open the doors to Oscar and Joey's for a while yet. So that's out. I talked to Jason Wolverton today on the show. I asked him about going up to the Lumberjack. I said, Jason, I'm a little bit hinky about it. He said, absolutely. He said, because your Wednesday night lives will pack the place and we can only seat 50%. So we're going to hold off on that. We're going to hold off on that a little bit till it makes more sense. Do I have any predictions for the deer regs voted on next week? I don't think we're going to see blaze orange mandated on ground blinds. At least I hope not, because it's unnecessary. The question people ask me a lot is, what about baiting? Is the bait ban going to continue in Michigan for this season? I'll tell you that right now. The bait ban will continue. The bait ban will continue. Do not look for baiting to be lifted this year. Carl says, do you carry on your boat? Is it allowed or is it not allowed? It is allowed, and I'll leave it at that. Now, every time, no. Have I? Yes. If I forget it's in my pocket, you might say, how can you forget a gun's in your pocket? You never really forget it. You know it's there, but you know what I mean. I don't expect any trouble on my boat. But do you ever expect trouble, right? Did I get my bear tag? What is that noise? Did I get my bear tag? You now have 7. Yes, I got my bear tag for Newberry, third season with 3 points. Okay. They aren't giving in on the baiting issue. No, they're not. They're very serious about CWD. We don't hear as much about chronic wasting disease lately with COVID, but they're still very serious about it. Baiting is not coming back in Michigan in the near future. Kurt has a pretty good prediction. 25% of the people will be happy and the rest won't be. Is that on deer issues, Kurt, or life in general? That's true. Thank you, Christine, for bringing that up. You can go to the Lumberjack. It doesn't have to be a Wednesday night live. You can. Thank you for that. I would encourage you to go to the Lumberjack because they have great food. Don't wait for a Wednesday night live. Go, go, go. Just curious, a 380 LCP in your pocket, you won't know it's there. I've pocket carried car PM9s. I don't like the 380 as much, but I've carried it. The Glock 43, my current pocket carry / belt carry is a SIG P365. And yeah, sometimes you can forget it's there. Ross says, it fits very nicely. Newberry is where your dad killed his bear. Hopefully that's where I'm going to kill my bear. Newberry, on the edge of Seney National Wildlife Refuge. I told Johnny I was a little bit concerned about having the third season because I felt like, well, by the third season, you've got hunters in there on those baits. Also, the dog hunters have access to the area. Not that I have anything against dog hunters. It's a legal method of taking bear, and I support it completely. However, sometimes once you have other hunters in an area and the dog hunters have access to an area, it can modify the bear's behavior. That was my concern. Johnny says, don't worry about it. Because number one, since he hunts on the edge of Seney, the dog hunters, because the dogs are not allowed on the federal wildlife refuge and they don't want to take the chance, the dog hunters stay away from that area. Also, he says, nobody's going to be hunting my baits before I get there. So as far as the bears are concerned, it's going to be like the first season. It's going to be like, what is it, September 11th, the season opens this year? I don't get to hunt till September 25th. The bears aren't going to care, Johnny says. So I'm pretty excited about that. I can tell you that right now. Hey, Brent. Looks to me, Brent, like we're probably going fishing next Friday, huh? And I'm looking forward to it. You're correct, Ross. Johnny doesn't have many dogs over there for that reason, because they don't want to take a chance of the dogs running over into the wildlife refuge. So he doesn't have hunters there, dog hunters. I would encourage you to listen to my conversation with Johnny. It's in the first hour of this weekend's show. It's in the second and third segments. I've never met Johnny. I look forward to meeting him because he seems like a great guy. Looking forward to it. So am I, Brent. So am I as well. All right, my friends, let's get ready to wrap up this edition of Wednesday Night Live. What's the berry crop up there? That's a good question. I don't know the answer to that, and it's probably too early to tell because I know in White River, you don't know what the berry crop's going to be for a few weeks yet. I didn't even ask Johnny about the berry crop. I asked him about barrels. Does he bait with barrels? Yes, he uses 55-gallon, the plastic drums, not the metal drums, which I'm used to. I like the barrels because they really let you judge the size of the bear. They make it easy. So I'm really looking forward to it. All right, my friends, thank you for joining me on this edition of Wednesday Night Live here. I'm Mike Avery Outdoors on my Facebook page, on my YouTube channel. I see the LinkedIn, no freaking pickles tonight. I did not hear back from Sherry, so no freaking pickles tonight. But we did give away Speedy Blaze. Congrats to Jason Goit and Jeff Plant. Guys, please send your contact info directly to Ed Bolanowski or get it to me, and I will pass them along to Ed. Yeah, no freaking pickles tonight. I think that's going to wrap it up. Hey, thank you, Jim. I appreciate that. Oh, for some reason, I was not able to go live to my Vimeo channel. I'm not sure why. I'm still working on a setup that will allow me to go live to LinkedIn and also live to Instagram when they open up that capability. That option isn't there yet, but when you can, I will. All right, my friends, have a great night. Stay cool. Hope you get a chance to get out and do something fun. And thanks for joining me on this edition of Wednesday Night Live.